Murder. Murder most foul. Murder is the ultimate assault on order. We shall not kill. Number 5 on the 10 Commandment hit parade. I love a good murder mystery. It's satisfying to have the mystery solved and order recovered, but murder in real life, well, that can be hard. In the late 1990s, I decided to leave acting and to go to graduate school in psychology. I studied behavioral profiling in my forensic psych class. I was a good study. I learned about the clues to a killer's motives, choice of victim, weapon, location, and most importantly, his MO, his modus operandi, with the greatest distinction being, is the killer organized or disorganized? I learned that a disorganized killer isn't planning the murder, it's spontaneous. He breaks into an apartment, and after raping the occupant, let's say, he decides to murder her, maybe using stuff from the house itself, a telephone cord, a kitchen knife. Disorganized killers usually leave a lot of evidence. The organized killer is someone who thinks and plans, who knows what he is doing and how he is going to do it. An organized killer leaves little evidence and can repeat his routine multiple times without detection. Think Ted Bundy. These are the monsters that haunt our dreams, my dreams. I was always good at solving the mysteries in the books I read, fancied myself a good armchair detective. So when an LA homicide detective came to speak to our abnormal psych class, I was enthused. He told us about how many murders go unsolved each year, a whopping 1/3. Most people don't realize that murder is a state affair, he said. You can kill someone in California and go to Arizona and kill someone else there, 2 different investigations with the states not talking to one another. VICAP, the Violent Criminal Apprehension Program, is the FBI's first attempt to establish a national database. He paused. And LA County needs help inputting cold case information into VICAP. Here's the chance to test my skills. At the break, I told him I wanted to volunteer. I was the only one in my class. And the next day, I met the detective at the office of the LA County Homicide Division. It was a giant room filled with desks. The desks were old, some wooden, some metal, chipped and scuffed, the tops loaded with files and pens and pictures of the cops' family. The detectives wore suits. They hung their jackets on the back of their chairs and kept ties in a drawer. The detective introduced me to the squad, mostly white, but there were some Black and Latino guys as well. Some were trim, some fat, some neat, some not, but all dedicated to solving these murders. They ignored me for the most part. Then the detective led me to a large conference room. This is your workspace, he said. The code to get in is 187. 187 is the penal code for murder, a little in-house humor. The room had a long beat-up conference table with a computer on it, some mismatched chairs, overhead fluorescent lighting that cast the room in a brass light. It smelled of stale tuna fish sandwiches. An assistant entered with 3 plain brown paper filing boxes. He stacked them against the wall. Each murder has its own paper box, the detective said. 1 box, 1 life. A chill ran down my back. I assumed I would be dealing with these 3 cases, but then the assistant came in with 3 more, then 3 more, and 3 more, stacking 12 boxes along the wall. I gotta say, I was overwhelmed. 12 lives. 12 lost, murdered lives in boxes, screaming for help. I could feel my breathing quicken. The first step, he said, is to sort the cases. If you look through a box and can identify a possible perpetrator, then you will group them here. He put labels on the wall: gang killing, domestic violence. Those are local murders. You are looking for serial killers. And if you find one, you enter the information here on this computer. It's pretty intuitive. I'm sure you'll be fine. And with that, he left. I took the top off the first box. These were the first crime scene photos I had ever seen. Dead bodies, too, a man and a woman, blood streaking the street. The report indicated it was gang-related. I closed the box and placed it in its proper place against the wall. The second box was clearly a family murder, a woman, a history of domestic violence. I felt badly this woman hadn't been able to get out alive, and I sorted the box. I continued sorting boxes, gangs, botched robberies, box after box got sorted along the wall. I was almost through the dozen boxes when I found it. I knew it. The second I opened the box, a young woman in her late teens or early 20s. These crime scene photos were the stuff of nightmares. Her dead, vacant eyes staring up at me. She was strangled, the burns on her neck visible. Oh, she fought like hell. Pictures of bruises and broken fingernails, but ultimately, he won. And then to add insult, he staged her naked on her bed with arms and legs spread apart like some odd 5-point star. Here it was, a serial killer, a very organized serial sexual murderer, a monster. My hand shook as I entered the info in the computer. I wanted to run, to hide, to forget, but I could not unsee what I saw. And then I felt rage. As I put the top back on the box, I whispered to the victim, I am reclaiming you. He is not the boss of you. We will get him. I promise.